Anyway, so back to the hot tub. I used to spy on. I feel so uncomfortable talking about this. Okay, I used to spy on my brother and his friends with the video recorder. I don't know why, but
Special guests and off topics in this segment. Anything goes. You are listening to 3 p.m.
What's up, guys? It's a 3 a.m. podcast. My name is Charlie.
My name is DJ.
My name is Sean.
And with us today, we have our friend.
Wait. No.
Okay, go.
What's up, guys? I'm back. I'm just kidding. I've never been on, but my name is Sydney.
Yeah, so Sydney's my cousin. For a long time, she's been like, yo, get me on. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I have. Every time I see him, I'm like begging him, like, please.
Well, welcome, Queen.
Yeah.
Your
Thank you.
long-awaited arrival.
So tell us about yourself.
Okay, I am Sydney, obviously. I am 24 years old. I live in Portland, Oregon. I just moved back to Portland from Seattle, Washington, where I was working as a graphic designer. I loved it there. I grew up in Portland. I went to Oregon State. And once I graduated, I moved right up to Seattle. And then with Corona and just the uncertainty, I decided to move back home, reevaluate my situation. I'm working remote now.
Yep. That's probably like most people. That's
right,
dope, though.
yeah. So, yeah, it gives me a lot of flexibility, my job, just working on a computer. I just need some Wi-Fi, and I'm set. I'm very fortunate, and I guess that's a good little background.
You like being back home?
So I just moved back in with my parents, and we'll get into that later because they've been tormenting me.
Oh, okay. I see.
It's been fun. I have my own space. I have my own bathroom, bedroom, thankfully. So I kind of do my own thing, but they're there. However, I am saving money on rent.
Oh,
cool.
And
nice.
Does this tapestry make you feel like you're at home?
Not at
that's
all.
Portland right there.
Current state.
Is it really?
Nah.
I was like,
Saw the fires.
we're a little greener. Oh,
Sorry, that's what.
stop. Sensitive subject.
Rude, dude. Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
It's kind of for selfish reasons, and I'll get to
Oh, no.
Did you have a favorite childhood birthday? Do you have one?
Birthday.
Yeah, like birthday party.
Birthday memory.
Yeah, birthday memory.
That's hard. Why is it selfish?
You want me to tell it first?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to help me plan my birthday?
Oh, my gosh.
It's in a month from today. And if you don't know me, well, you don't know my birthday, obviously.
DJ makes
Even
a
if you
huge
do
deal
know
about
me-
his birthday.
Oh, wait, I
Yeah.
do have a favorite birthday.
Okay, no, go.
No, you go.
Okay. For the longest time, I hated sharing my birthday. And I don't know why really until like today I was driving and I was thinking about it. And I think this is because my 12th birthday, I wanted a sleepover. So we set up the house, we got Pizza Hut.
Ooh.
Which is the only pizza joint in Hawaii, I think. Representative of the real estate out there. Just huts. Yeah. I had my N64. I think I was in 6th grade. And I was just ready for everything.
Yeah.
The time hits, I invited like 10 friends.
Oh, no.
No one's shown up.
Oh, no.
Oh, shoot.
I wait 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes. No one shows up except one person.
Your brother?
No. No, my mom was there, okay?
Oh.
One person, Christina Lowe, one of my
A
best
girl.
friends. Yeah, the only girl I invited.
At 12?
Yeah, 12.
Sleepover?
Okay.
Because of my strict parents, they wouldn't let her sleep over. They let all the other dudes sleep over who didn't show up. But she stayed. She played games. We had pizza. We shared 8 boxes.
She probably thinking, did he invite anyone else?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Ever since then, I was like, oh, well, no one's coming to my birthday party ever if I'm not going to throw one, So, but now I feel like I'm past the point where I don't care. I used to be super like secretive about my birthday.
You finally got over your childhood trauma.
I think I got over my
Dude,
childhood
congrats.
trauma.
Nice.
So with that, do you want to help me plan my birthday?
I would love to.
Ooh.
I want to have like a theme going.
Yeah, we'll get pizza. We'll get video
We do
games,
the same
and
thing?
no one will show up.
Let's keep this going. Tradition.
We'll all go hang out.
But I feel like if you share a birthday, that almost guarantees more people would come.
Like
Share
with one of your
birthday?
friends?
Yeah. Didn't you say you didn't like sharing your birthday?
No, he
No,
legitimately wouldn't tell
doesn't
Tell
like
people.
sharing.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
I
it'd be
was
my
like,
birthday, and I
You
just
wouldn't
treat
tell
it
anybody?
as a normal day.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
wouldn't do. Yeah,
gosh.
I've known him for 8 years. I just found his birthday out like this year. I'm being serious. He would
okay.
even lie. I'd be like, when is it? And he'd be like,
What's
September
Nove-
14th.
November 9th.
It's today the 9th.
Yeah.
November 8th.
Okay, so you lied.
Wow.
I did. Yeah, yeah. I'm still adjusting.
Okay.
To this new normal.
I was thinking of themes, maybe. I don't know if that'd be fun. I'm inexperienced, you know? Maybe-
Let's start with having people there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I
That's
was
a
thinking
great
we should
start.
maybe have like a luau.
Dude, you're racist, dog.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding. That would be
Just
fun,
super
dude.
typical Hawaiian haystacks, like everything that
Just authentico Hawaiian.
Get some Hawaiian pizza, dude.
yeah.
Oh,
Just only pineapple, canned pineapple.
dude, let's do it. You should tell them about the time you would spy on your brother in the jacuzzi.
What? Oh my gosh. Okay. Sure. So
This
I
sounds
was.
like the beginnings of something raunchy.
Bro, and low key, it's kind of a theme throughout Sydney's life.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was a very weird child growing up.
Is this actual brother or step brother?
No. Okay. Gross. This is not some intro to some dirty
do your
video.
thing. This is your thing.
Okay, so my parents had this family camcorder. It was like one of the really old ones. You know, you could like flip it out and like.
It's like a cinder block.
Yeah.
Like Blair Witch,
You know, it
basically.
was, it was kind of fancy. You could like reverse it so you could like film yourself and like see the
It's got,
screen.
it's got like the. Does it have the tube where you can like look
Yeah,
through
it
it? Like a
had-
telescope.
It had
Yeah.
the tube. But I don't know if you know this about me. I wear glasses and I have like super magnified lenses. Like a lot of people used to make fun of me growing up. They called me like Bubbles from Trailer Park. It's that bad. And so I never like looked through the thing because like, you know, my glasses would block it. But anyways, I filmed all sorts of things on this camera. Like I have one video. I got in so much trouble. But
Okay, wait. She was like 8.
Okay, yeah, I was 8, but this is a side story, but I got my first bikini. It was navy blue and white.
Big deal.
And my
I
parents.
remember mine, you know?
Yeah.
No, it was huge because I
Milestone.
always had to wear like a swim shirt. And then finally it was like, I got a bikini. And so aside from the bikini, I had one of those CD radios.
Yeah. Like a
And I
boom
had,
box.
yeah, and I had
Ooh.
Now 5 in the song
Lit.
Swing. I don't know who it's by.
Let me hear your hips swing.
No, it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
yeah. Us now move it like, yeah, okay. So, anyways, this is just a total side story, but I did film myself dancing to that song on my family camcorder in my navy blue bikini, and
And 9 people went to jail.
no, stop. No, that was quickly deleted. But anyway, so back to the hot tub. I used to spy on. I feel so uncomfortable talking about this. Okay, I used to spy on my brother and his friends with the video recorder. I don't know why, but I'm crying. Wow, you really threw me for a loop.
Good.
So here I am on the family couch. Our couch is set up, and then the window behind it, and then the hot tub.
Real quick. We were over for Christmas. And we were like, let's watch some old family videos. So we're like watching, it's just the cute generic stuff. And then this one comes up and it's like point of view, super creepy.
I'm like whispering into the camera, like
Little
people
tiny-
can hear me.
Little tiny fingers like pull down the blinds and it's filming these 2 boys in a hot tub. And it's like, what's happening? Sydney just starts dying. And this
then
is what she
you-
did.
You literally just see me like flip the camcorder around. And I'm like, hey, you guys, like whispering into the video. And I'm like, I'm spying on Nate. And like, it's just the most uncomfortable.
There they are in the hot tub. Just spying.
They weren't even doing anything, which is like the worst part because I'm literally there for maybe 5 minutes.
It was so funny.
But
Is
yeah,
that older brother or younger
the
brother?
older brother. Yep.
So funny.
I don't know. Maybe I had a crush on one of them.
Hopefully not your brother.
No, I mean definitely, but like one of his
them.
friends.
I get it though. When you're a kid,
I just thought
you're
they were so cool, and this one boy especially, he was super into like army stuff.
Like, that's a man.
So we
I
always
have a
wore
blue
like
bikini.
he always wore his army khaki pants, and at the time I was like obsessed
hot.
with Avril Lavigne, and she was into that, so I was into that.
huh?
And he would like run around our house like jumping off the couch, and I was like, that's so hot.
With
But,
the camo and everything.
Yeah.
So there's just one person in the hot tub.
No, there's two. Is my brother and his friend.
And then the next time you spied on someone with your camera,
Oh, when was this?
Maddie and Michael.
Oh, okay. Well, it's more of like a series. Right? I mean, like,
So you have a history, a pattern of this.
Season 8.
yeah. Well, okay. Which one are you talking about?
When you were on the balcony
Oh, in Cancun?
and you were like,
Oh, okay. That was a different story. Okay.
damn, I didn't know there was more.
So my little sister, she is dating a boy. His name's Michael. He's really cool. He's been on the podcast before. And I don't know why, but I just think it's funny, so I spy on them sometimes. And they hadn't seen each other for like a month, so it was like this big build up, and like they were all so excited.
And
of
young
course,
love too, so
No,
dramatic.
and I would be too. Like, and I'm so single, so it's like maybe part of me's like envious, you know. But so here she is, like running down the stairs to see him. He gets out of the car, and my mom was with me. Okay, it wasn't just me. Like, it was a team effort.
Oh, okay.
We were like crawling on our hands and knees, like slipping our fingers through the balcony with our phones, like trying to record them so we could see what was. I am so creepy. Oh my gosh.
Bro, you're like Harriet the Spy, so
Yeah,
a pervert. No, just kidding.
I'm not okay, I don't well, yeah,
Anyway, so
okay.
next.
I did film that. They did get out of my way, so they couldn't be on camera.
You got caught.
Yeah. But I mean, one day they'll look back on that and be so thankful I filmed that.
I bet.
It's true.
You know?
Probably.
I have you beat with my telescope story,
Oh, I hope so.
but I've already told it, so we're not telling it again
Aw.
today. If you want to hear it, go back and listen.
You can tell it's her just for context.
No, we got the time.
You,
What? What?
you bastard.
All right, any other questions for Sydney?
I'm an open book, clearly. Just be careful. I might be outside your bedroom window.
Yeah. Yeah, watch your back, listeners. Sydney might be filming you.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, I warned her we'd tease, so it's okay.
Hey, if I get the opportunity, it'll come back.
Okay.
Okay, so before coming onto this podcast, I wasn't really sure how it worked out, and so I was like, oh, maybe I could like theme this in a way where it's like I tell like horror dating stories because everyone loves the drama when it comes to like dating. Clearly, I mean, I'm filming it, but so I text my friends up in Seattle, the girls that I lived with, and I was like, hey, do you guys have any like dating horror stories? And all these girls have a boyfriend of like 5+ years. So like, you know, there's not a ton of like dating history aside from that person. So one of my friends messages back and she goes, well, the first time I farted in front of Blake, I was on top of him. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for.
Like, no, that's definitely a horror
Internally
story.
And I was
terrifying.
like, I mean, that is definitely horrifying, but we've all been there. You know, you're going pee, pushing a little too hard, and it just whoop slips out.
I feel like farting is like it's a milestone that should be like a year in. I don't know. What would you guys say?
A year in?
I don't know.
I mean, I had a boyfriend of 4 years, and I tooted in front of him, I think twice, and one of them was I was in his fraternity bathroom, so there's stalls, so you can hear everything. And
Just echoing? Like,
and it was just us in the bathroom, and he was waiting outside the stall, and I was squatting over the toilet because I was not putting my butt on that.
Yeah.
And so I was like squatting, just uncomfortably trying to pee fast. And I pushed too hard and just slipped out. And I was like, babe, did you hear that? He's like, yep.
Dude, honesty, I like it.
Yeah.
You think a year?
I don't know. I was just
That's
trying to throw
so
the term.
long?
That is a really long time.
I knew my girlfriend right now. I knew she wouldn't fart first. Just like
Well, she's a
the
lady.
beginning of the relationship. Yeah, I was like, I know for a fact she's gonna hold it and hold it and hold it or
Until
go to
she
the bathroom.
dies. Yeah.
yeah, until I fart first, and then she'll be okay with it. So but
date 2, you
it
just
took,
ripped ass or what?
oh yeah, oh we weren't even
First
dating
night.
yet. No. I think it took like 2 months.
Dude, that's mortifying. I'm going to tell you something super embarrassing. I was taking a martial arts class.
Huh?
That's embarrassing.
The real Karate Kid.
Yeah, that's me. Cobra Kai in this bitch.
Connecting with your ancestors.
And one of it was capoeira, Brazilian dance fighting. So a lot of it, you're supposed to be on your headstand, right? So I'm in my headstand like for 10 minutes and the instructor comes over. I don't know what happened, y'all. But the second he like readjusts me, and like his face
Is in your ass,
basically. And I just ripped ass.
and he just
face.
ate your fart.
And he was just like
Oh.
so upset. And I was just like, I'm upside down, blood's rushing to my head. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's so embarrassed.
Gas rises.
Yeah.
So it makes sense if you're upside down.
No.
That was embarrassing. But any more feedback from
Oh
your friends?
yeah, okay. So that one I was like, okay, that's a fun one. And then my other roommate messaged me. She was like, well, you know about my naked squats. And I was like, your naked squats? What? And so she was like, well, when me and my boyfriend started dating, it was long distance. We were probably like a year into it. So every chance I got, like whenever I saw him, I wanted to look like the best I could, just snatched, like fit, body on point. So they had a sleepover. She was visiting him up in Seattle. And in the morning she woke up, happened to be butt naked, and decided it'd be a good time to do some squats, before he woke up. So here she is thinking he's asleep, just like 1, 2, just butt naked. And I don't know if I think she was facing him, okay, which honestly might be worse than the butt to the face. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure like a squat naked just is not
Appealing. A lot of things are getting exposed.
Yeah. So I guess she was like mid squat, like down, and he opens his eyes and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, she had no words. I don't know.
It's a dream. Go back to sleep.
I said it's worse because she was like mid squat.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. Yeah, just mortifying. But I know I was trying to think back, and I feel like I haven't really had any horrible dating experiences, which I'm very fortunate. Like,
That's good.
catfishes. There was one time I was talking to this boy. It was long distance. We met over Instagram. And so before I went out to visit him, we would FaceTime all the time. And one time he FaceTimed me right out of the shower, He was just like laying in his bed, and we were talking.
Was it like he was trying to get frisky, or was it just like
not
casual?
at all. No, like it was like shoulder up. Like, I didn't even know that he was naked. And so we're just talking. We're probably on the phone for like 2 hours. So he's probably butt naked this whole time. And he's like laying there on his side, and all of a sudden he's like talking to his dog, like, oh, come up here. And it's like this little chihuahua. And so it like jumps up, and it's like in his like crotch area, and he's like, oh, do you want to see my dog? And I was like, I would love to, like, what's his name? Whatever. So he like brings the camera down to his waist level, and I'm like, what? I'm like, that's not just his dog. So here we are. I'm like, excuse me, like, and he's like, oh my gosh, like so mortified.
Just dong
because
out.
He was just like petting his dog with his like dong out. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But
The best thing is she told us that story with her dad in the next room. So she had to like tell it in a way where she was like, I don't know, like, and I saw,
I was like trying to be
a
like
penis,
yeah, and then Mary Jane is like, have you seen his penis? And I was like, well, no, like on
Haven't you seen it
FaceTime
before?
I did.
Yeah.
And my dad's just sitting in the other room, like, and I was like, I've never seen a penis, like really loud, so my dad could hear. And
Hush, 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 hush.
yeah,
Don't
he was
know what
just-
those look like.
Sex, gross.
No.
Okay, in all honesty, do you think he did it on accident? Because I'm going to tell you
Yes.
right now, that sounds not
That
accident.
sounds like
Sounds not
Really?
accident
You want
at
to
all.
see?
But it wasn't like it was like a.
It was flaccid.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Who wants to show that off?
I mean, who knows?
I
Some
mean, you're a
people
grower
are
or a
showers.
shower,
Yeah.
but
Everyone close their R's and raise your hand if you would.
well, we did meet in person. I did not see anything,
You didn't see the dog that time?
thankfully, but nice guy. It did not work out.
Good luck.
dirty dog.
Yeah, he was a dirty dog. He was a dirty dog.
That's hilarious. You were in a sorority.
Yes, I was.
Any crazy stories with that? Was it hectic? Was it wild?
I mean, so we had a sleeping porch. So we had 40 girls sleep in one room, which is kind of crazy. So
What is
40
it? A
girls?
sleeping porch?
yeah, so it's like this massive room. It kind of like snaked around and it was just bunk bed, bunk bed, bunk bed,
Oh,
bunk
damn.
bed. Yeah.
And no one had their own rooms?
So we had our own rooms where we put our desk and our clothes, but we weren't allowed to sleep in there. It was a fire hazard. Yeah.
So 40 people in one room is less a fire hazard?
I know, and you had to keep the windows open at all times. So like in the winter, your like mattress pads would kind of freeze over, and it would be
What's
so
going on? Did you
What is
go to a
happening?
camp for college?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this boot camp?
No,
Were you in the army?
no, I didn't. There was, I think there was one story of like this one girl. It was whoever slept in this like corner bed was convinced that she always saw a ghost. Just like in her sleep, and she like had told us, I don't remember stories too much, but I don't know if she was like dreaming it or she thought she saw it, but she would like see someone like always walk past. And I think one night she said like she was talking to it. And I mean, girls do sleep talk, and there's 40 of us, so it's like, I don't know, you don't really know where it's coming from, which is kind of scary, but
Dude, that's a nightmare.
yeah, there wasn't anything too traumatic, at least that I can talk about. But yeah, my sorority at least was very good about like no hazing.
No one got murdered.
Always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were very respectful.
You're like, you sleep in that haunted bunk.
That sounds like Sean's nightmare. Just a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
girls.
Sean's like, I'm out. I can't handle this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of girls. Nothing too crazy though. I only lived in for 1 year.
We had a story last week given to us by a listener, and she went to Fresno State.
Oh.
And she was in a sorority, and her house had a ghost that she was friends with.
What do you mean friends with?
So if you listen to it, just long story short, or short story shorter, this girl, so the first time that she encountered it was she was like setting up the TV. One of her friends got into the sorority, and she feels a tug on her shirt.
Oh, stop.
And she turns around and all her friends are on the couch, which, by the way, you talked about them having like the grabber
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
you asked her
They
about
were
it?
20 feet away. Yeah, like
Maybe
it
like
was a
three
pretty
grabbers,
big room.
like-
yeah,
A grabber on
yeah, that's
grabber.
probably what it is. That's more logical. So she's like, "What is going on?" So she tucked in her shirt into. She was wearing tights, and it happens again, but it gets pulled out of her tights. She turns on, and her friends are still sitting on the couch, but they didn't see anything for some reason. Anyway, that was the first time. Second time, she's like laying in her bed, and she sees the girl standing like at the foot of her bed, and she's stoked about it.
Stove?
Yeah, she's like trying to
Oh.
make friends with it, and she's like having conversations, like conversing with this girl, and this girl is like showing her like
How she died.
how she died, and
What?
yeah, this like the whole history of it. So it just reminded me of that. But she sent a picture. They found out, they did some research to try to find out her name, and there was like a picture that they took in the sorority house unrelated to the ghost. It was just, I don't know.
Like, hey,
Girls
we're
take-
hanging out.
Girls
Photo.
take pictures, yeah.
Or video through blinds.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
That- I'm not creepy.
But the picture has the girl's name on somebody's shirt, like written in like
What?
light, kind of.
Ew.
Yeah. But
That's so freaky.
Interesting.
Yeah. Cool little update.
Dude, that's a good segue into maybe a couple stories Sydney
Oh no.
is going to share tonight.
Jessica?
I think so.
Okay. So, okay, it's not funny. Okay.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, I
Okay.
gotta fire off this text.
Okay, so little backstory. I am kind of terrified of dolls.
I feel like it's pretty normal.
I know it's very normal, but okay, so backstory. So growing up, a lot of my friends had these little dolls called like American Girl dolls. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but they're really cute.
They all have
small.
names and personalities, right?
yeah.
Stories.
So I
Damn, how do you know all about it?
Because Mallory had some growing
okay.
up, I think. So
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, they're so cute. I always wanted Kit, but I never got her.
Shout out, Kit.
So I always wanted American Girl doll. And my dad was like, you know what's one step cooler is the twin doll. So I was like, okay. So I remember like my dad taking photos of like my face, and then like you like fill out this application and you get this doll that's like identical to you. But they're huge. So like one time my friend had like an American Girl doll party, and all of them were like a foot tall. And here I am with my huge like 2-foot doll.
It's like a person you're just carrying around. How old are you at this point, by the way? I need reference.
Probably
she just
like
got in. She just
8.
pledged.
Okay, also side note, I'm the worst at telling stories when I laugh, so sorry.
No, it's fine.
But I just remember that was so scarring because I just like didn't fit in with my stupid twin doll.
Literally
Okay.
didn't fit in with everyone's foot tall doll. They're like, Sydney, can you leave?
Which
You're
American
GD
Girl is that?
Giant American giant.
Yeah.
Okay,
So your history with dolls is just
okay, no.
Confusing.
So that was traumatizing, but no. That was actually after the fact that I realized that I was like so terrified of them. It was because so I get this twin doll after I've been begging for an American Girl doll for Christmas, and the next day, like my grandma's visiting, she turns on Chucky of all movies. And here I am sitting with my brand new American
Giant doll?
sorry. My twin doll, not my American doll. Watching Chucky. Here I am like, what? Like looking at the doll like,
wait.
The doll's all like, this shit's scary.
No, but so since like that day, literally like the day after Christmas, I've just been terrified of her. And my parents were like, oh, it's fine. Like they try to like make her like sleep in my bed with me, you know, or like sit her at the end of my bed with all my stuffed animals. But I was just convinced she was always like blinking or winking at me. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so she's up in my parents' closet still to this day.
What's her name?
Sydney.
Sydney.
It's a twin.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a
That's
twin.
what you meant. Okay.
It's a twin doll.
They literally, I
So-
don't know if she fully explained, like, they take a picture of you
Yeah.
and they make it look like you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like down to your
okay.
freckles, and like mine had glasses. We had matching outfits. It was like the whole deal.
It sounds like a
Okay, sorry, I
Goosebumps
didn't-
episode where it like assumes the role of your life.
Yeah.
And like boots you out.
She's
I
upstairs
didn't
in the
understand
closet,
that.
so not quite.
Bro, this is,
Probably get rid of it at this
I
point.
know.
I would never do that. That is so terrifying to me. And it's like borderline like voodoo in a way. You're like creating this thing and then putting so much
Okay,
energy
I
into
see
it.
that, yeah.
That's creepy. I don't know, but I would be terrified of it as well.
So, growing up, my brother thought it would be hilarious to like put it in my room with like a knife in its hand, like an airsoft gun, like when I'd come home. And it's just like so traumatizing. And my parents feed off of that. And so
No, surely they grounded him and said, "Don't do that. That's you should
no,
not."
they love it. And I'll get into this story with Jessica. So, let's see, where do I start with Jessica? So Jessica is a special doll. Jessica is this porcelain doll. She has these beady purple eyes, not blue, green. No, they're purple. And I love that color. So it's like, okay. So we are watching Jessica. I know that sounds a little weird.
Or
but,
she's watching you.
She is all the time. So Jessica came into our family because an older relative had married a man, and they were at the age where they couldn't conceive their own child. And so they got this doll, and it was like their child, and they named her Jessica. And so,
But wait, it wasn't like, "Hey, we have a toy." It's like, This thing literally represents the child we would have had if we were younger.
Dude, there's a movie.
It's like Boy.
Is
Yeah,
it Boy?
it's
I
called
was gonna
Boy.
say, yeah.
So it is, but this is real life.
Like the parents are super like, this is a
You
real
have to
person.
feed
almost.
him
Yes,
and put
take
him
care
to
of it.
bed. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So their older relative has this, and then it comes to a point where they ask Sydney and her
So-
family to take care of it.
So my mother was very close with the woman, and they moved out of their house, and for some reason they couldn't take Jessica with them. And so she asked my mother if she would watch Jessica, and my mom was like, of course, sure. Like, so Jessica's at our house now, and she lives upstairs with my twin doll, Sydney.
With you.
She lives with me
Yeah.
upstairs.
Do you think Sydney's up there talking shit on you, or just telling her everything
Maybe.
about you?
I'm sure they talk. So Jessica, yeah, little backstory, the purple eyes. She has that, so she's made of porcelain. So like when her legs touch, it's like that chalk sound.
Ting ting.
Yeah, kind of. But it's like if you rub it together, it's just like so cringe. Not that I like rub her legs. But like that's like one of the reasons. Stop. Okay. No, but that's one of the reasons why I don't want to touch her is because like when you pick her up, her legs like
Clink.
yeah, like because it's like a sack body and then glass arms and legs, and so it's like ching ching ching.
Purple eyes.
Yeah, so she also had an accident. She fell, broke her face, and so they tried to glue it back together.
Just Flex
so
Seal.
So
Well, what's creepy is
she-
her face is like stitched together too
Yeah.
now. So it has like this
Yeah.
crack across.
Yeah. So
Just imagine, just picture your nightmares, and that's Jessica. But no disrespect, sorry.
no.
This is
Jessica's
the trope
great.
of every horror movie. Like with a doll.
Legitimate.
But like I've never heard it in real life
Yeah.
before.
So
Sydney's living it.
stop. Okay. So with Halloween happening, my mom goes upstairs and gets all the Halloween decorations, and she's like setting up, and this is when the torment started happening. So she started placing Jessica in certain areas around the house so I would find her and get like super scared. So one time I came home and she was just like sitting on my bed with a knife in her hand, and I like scream, you know, whatever. One time I was like in my car looking back to reverse, and she's sitting in the back seat of my car, and I'm like, well, that's one way to get in an accident.
Yeah, I would have died.
That's my greatest fear. the
Me
back
too.
seat, dude.
Yeah, and the latest, my parents hung her in my shower. So
Like what kind of hung? Like
like
noose?
noose hung.
Like
Bro.
so they I screamed so loud because when I go to turn on the faucet, I always like look down and I turn on and then I look up, and so I was like reaching down. I have a video I can show you later.
Show
but
'em.
Okay.
I already know. I already know.
Okay, wait.
What is this, like a horrific
This
elf
is-
on the shelf? Just hiding in around places.
About to take a shower, and I leaned down to, turn the faucet on, and what the fuck?
So Jessica's just, you can hear my mom laughing in the background. So traumatizing. So before the shower, my mom set her up in my room on my shelf. So I have like this sliding door closet, and then above it is a shelf. So there she is, like sitting up there to a point where like I could reach it, but I don't want to touch her legs just because of the sound.
The rubbing.
Yeah. And so here I am like laying in my bed at night, and there she is just watching me sleep, and I have a mirror in front of my bed, so it's like if I look into the mirror I can see her in the corner of it. If I turn right I can see her, and if I turn left I can feel her. So I'm laying here in the dark. It's like a normal day. I mean, I guess it's in the evening. It was like a normal day, weather was fine. I was laying there and I turn and look at her, and I'm like, Jessica, if you're real, turn on a light. So I'm like laying there, no lights go on. Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, Jessica, you're good.
She's like, no.
Yeah, no. And then, so I go to bed, I go to sleep that night. All of a sudden, I wake up, lightning outside my window. Thunder and lightning for like an hour. Like, it was like, sorry, I'm talking so loud. It was like right outside the window. I kid you not. It was so scary. And I called my mom and I was like,
Your
"Come
entire room like
downstairs."
lit up, right?
Oh yeah, my entire room was lighting up and it was like flash after flash. Like it wasn't just like one thunder. It was like so crazy. And I tried to get a video of it, but like you can't really tell. But yeah, I would like light up my whole room and I'm just like looking at Jessica like, this is you.
Was she staring at you?
Of course, she always was. And so I called my mom. I'm 24. I'm like, hey, can you come sleep in my bed tonight? So she came down. She slept in my bed with me, and I made her take Jessica out the next morning, and I haven't seen her since the shower. And I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't know if it was her, but it's like
Well, you were telling me you kind of feel like her energy. You were like,
I don't know. But I think she's a nice girl. I think I need to give her the benefit of the doubt.
that's real big of you.
Yeah. But
That is terrifying. The fact that you like reached out is what scares me the most. Because in my opinion, scary things don't have a lot of power until you're the one to like almost invite it.
And that's like, I've never had like a paranormal experience. Like, I do believe in spirits, but I like to only believe in good spirits. But of course, with the good, there's bad. But I like to only focus on and like welcome good ones. Not that I'm like out there like welcoming them, but like I try to have like positive intentions if I'm talking to Jessica, because we're helping her out. We're babysitting her. Like we could have thrown her away.
And she knows it.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with this girl when I was back in college, and at work, I was really famous for telling scary stories, telling riddles, things like that when it got slow. And I had never been to this girl's house. She kind of invited me on the whim, and she was like, you should really come see the house I'm living in. And I think Sean was with me. And more and more information is coming out about this house. Was it her grandma?
Yeah, it was her grandma.
Her roommate's grandma.
Oh, yeah.
So her roommate's grandma had lived in this house like her whole life and died in the house.
Gosh, that's the worst.
And so her and her friend
Wait, there's more.
moved in. And they are alone living in this really big house, this really big old house, just the two of them.
Was it like old or like modern?
So you walk
updated?
in,
It was-
straight 70s. Everything about it, like shag carpet, the couch was disgusting, covered in plastic, like drapes, like curtains everywhere. You know what I mean? Just like super old school decor. And I was like, dang, like when we got there, Sean and I were like, whoa, this house is really creepy. And they're like,
And
okay.
then we walked in.
They're like, we legitimately live in this 8% of the house. And like, we're going to take you and show you the other parts of the house. So they like turn on lights and just the rooms. There's things like draped.
Just, like, cranking a generator.
Yeah. They throw logs in the fire.
Yeah.
There's like sheets on stuff. Like it's old school and creepy. And just the further we got into the house, I was like, ugh. And everything of the grandma's is still there. Like almost like
I
she
don't
could
like
walk
that.
out of a room at any time.
I don't like that.
And then they're like, okay. And the decor is getting creepier. Everything's creepier. And they're like, okay, this is the room that we really wanted to show you. And they reach over and they open the door, flick on the lights, and there are
100
dolls, porcelain,
lining
tall,
the
small,
walls.
lining the walls.
They're just
completely
staring
covering
at
the
you
table,
instantly when
and
you
they're
walk in.
all just like facing the door.
Staring at you instantly when you walk in.
That
This old lady had collected dolls her entire life, and they were all in that room. And Sean and I were like, "What the hell is this?" Like so terrifying?
were they pretty like maintained, or were there cobwebs? And
Oh no, there was
Yeah,
cobwebs
yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, okay.
But they were like,
They were well maintained until like
yeah.
It's the porcelain ones, like the plastic. I'm a little better with, but just I think it's the sound and the feeling of them that just really rubs me the wrong way.
That's just
Oh, I feel
such
ya.
bad product design, I feel like.
The porcelain.
especially for a child.
Yeah, like we're going to give this person a glass like, integrity doll to throw around all day.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
No, but it was truly terrifying. I've been
Yeah.
afraid of dolls since Chucky as well. I used to have nightmares about Chucky and Toy Story.
Ooh, really?
Like after Chucky and Toy Story happened to me as a child, I had a
happened to you as a child?
Yeah, as it was afflicted upon me. I had a doll monkey that was like my height. And I remember one time I tossed it on the bed and it fell. And I just walked out of the room and almost out of the room, I stopped and I was like, went back in, picked him up, put him on the bed. And I was like, Sorry, dude.
Yeah, you can't disrespect them.
Yeah, because I was like, this dude could choke
That's
me out
why
when I'm
I'm
sleeping.
worried about this podcast.
If Jessica hears you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to this outside my house.
I didn't feel like there was any disrespect,
Yeah.
though, so I think you're good.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
We never had any dolls because we didn't have any girls in our family. But we had this huge teddy bear from like the fair, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
And I loved terrorizing my little brother Bubba, and I would sit behind it and he'd like lean up against it and I'd grab the arms and like
No.
just trap him in and I'd hide behind it. But yeah, that was our only experience with dolls.
That's funny. Okay, so that's Jessica. But you had another story.
I do have a story. This one's just a little freaky. My mom told me this. Actually, the first time I heard about it was when we were on vacation with you and MJ. We had a night where Charlie just told all his scary stories to us. We like turned off all the lights and my mom was like, my turn.
No, it was like, Aunt Michelle, have you ever had anything scary happen to you? No, not at all. And I was like nothing. And she's like, no, not really. I mean, this thing happened, but whatever. And I was like, dude, that's terrifying. Like, what are you talking about? So I think that's the story Sydney's going to share.
Yes, it is. So my mom was living down in San Pedro, California. She was in her mid-20s. She had 2 other roommates. And one night she came home and she
All
was...
female, right?
Yeah, all female.
What year is this, you think? Like 80s? 90s? It's gotta
Yeah,
be
80s, yeah.
Needless to say, it was just back then, no cell phones. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah, it would have been 80s. Okay. So yeah, you had like the landline with like the long cord, all that stuff.
Phone
We'll get
books.
into that.
Yep.
Yeah. So she came home one night. She was all alone, which isn't really out of the ordinary, you know. I mean, she lived in a fairly safe area. And she gets this phone call. And she's all alone. She's like, oh, I wonder who's that? You know, like not many people know your phone number unless
Yeah.
it's like memorized. She answers it. She's like, hello. And it's this man. And he's like, hello. And she's like, hello. And he's like, I know where you are. I know where you live. I know you just got home and I know you're alone. She's like, what? No, you don't. Like, who is this? Who is this? And she hangs up the phone and she picks it back up and he's still on the line. He's like, don't hang up on me. I'm just down at the Arco. And so she's freaking out at this point, like hangs up the phone, like keeps like going up and down with the phone because
But he won't disconnect or something?
No, because I guess with the landlines back then, like both parties have to disconnect.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. I would like try to test him.
Oh my
Leave him
gosh,
alone, be
no.
like, how many fingers am I holding up?
Stop. So scary.
No, that's terrifying.
Yeah, so she's freaking out. And yeah, I mean, there's an Arco just down the street, so he's close. And she's home alone. She doesn't know when her roommates are coming back. So finally, thankfully, she gets a hold of one of her roommates who was on the date with her boyfriend. And they come back to the house, and my mom's fine. And about a month later, she moves out. And then about...
Didn't you say, when she told it, she was saying stuff like, there had been multiple times where someone at the house was creeped out. Like they had felt weird. They would get weird calls. Like this guy was doing it enough. And I think it affected Michelle quite a bit.
I think she was the first one to actually like conversate with him and have a conversation with this random man. And so she moves out of the apartment, whatever. I think at this point she moved up to Oregon, but a couple girls that she knew actually moved into the apartment. And about 2 months after she gets this phone call, one of the girls who lived in the room, a man climbed in through her window, held her at knife point, was threatening to rape her and kill her. And that could have been my mom. But I mean, thankfully, this woman was able to get away. I think the cops arrested him. But I mean, who knows if it was the same man that was calling my mom?
Dude, if I were to bet,
Yeah.
it was definitely the same person.
Yeah.
But that's so crazy, the idea, because like she was saying, Aunt Michelle was saying like, you know, it felt bad. It felt weird enough to where like it did help her with the idea of moving, and she left. And at that point, you're like, okay, was I overreacting? Was that real? Was that just a harmless prank?
Until
like you don't know.
A month or two later.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But then to find out like someone did come through that
Holy
window in
shit.
her mom's room and do that is terrifying.
Yeah. So thankfully, both women got away.
Do you know if... Oh, we don't know who the man is?
No,
even though he was arrested? Do we think it's someone that your mom knew?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
I feel like she would have known. Like,
I feel like my mom had a really like close knit friend group down in California,
Yeah.
and so it's not like they were really like branching out aside from that.
it sounds like it was definitely
Anytime.
someone in the community though, or someone who like.
Yeah, to be able to get. I mean, I don't know how the phones worked in apartments back then. Like if you could just call the front desk, kind
I
of like a
don't-
hotel. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Or maybe he had known someone who lived there previously, and so he knew the number.
Oh yeah.
I just like, why did he target that one? You know, was persistent with that one thing. Like if it was like the house or whoever was living in it.
I think it was just an easy target, like
'Cause there's a
3
bunch of young
younger
girls.
women.
Yeah. Maybe he got turned down at some point, like tried to. So he was just mad.
Oh my
I don't
I'm
know.
pretty
gosh.
sure that's Prom Night. The movie.
A super similar thing happened. We were at a friend's house. We were talking in the living room, and their mom was not a part of the conversation. And we're all just chatting, and we're talking about scary things that happen and trying to. And this is before a podcast, so
Yeah.
this is us just, I heard this happen to my cousin, And our friend turns to his mom and was like, "Mom, did you ever have anything weird happen?" And she was so nonchalant. She's like, "No, not really."
Well, there was this one time.
And she's like, he pushed her. He was like nothing. You never had anything happen? You never met any weirdos? And she's like, "Well, I guess this one," and tells this story in like the most nonchalant, off the cuff way.
Just with Michelle.
Literally, it was when your mom did that, I was like, "Dude, deja vu. This is so
Yeah.
weird." Which is also maybe says something just about the culture back then. Is like when dudes did something like that, it was just kind of like, oh, whatever,
I feel like it was. I mean, I can't say it's normal because that's not a normal thing to do,
No,
but
definitely.
that was kind of in the age of like Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah,
The Green River Killer. I don't know their names, but
no, yeah.
serial killers were a lot more common back then.
For sure. But so our friend's mom lived in Provo, and she lived in an apartment full of girls. And they had all individually gotten feelings that they were being watched in this house at random times, taking off their shirt right to get in the shower, and they would just get a creepy vibe. And this had happened to all of them to the point where they were like just a little on edge. Some of them would even say they feel like they're being watched, right? That was like something they had all experienced. So one early morning, she was laying in her bed, and she had a room that was on the ground level with a window that backed right to an alley in between two homes that was like this small, narrow walkway. And she said out of nowhere, she just wakes up. And this is early, maybe 5:36. It's winter time, so it's completely dark. And she just has this terrifying feeling. And she's feeling the feeling like she's being watched. And as she's kind of like trying to assess what's going on, she hears a small knock at her window. And then really quickly, boom, 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 boom on her front door. So she's terrified. She screams, wakes up the people in the house. They all come out to the living room. Again, boom, 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 boom. They all go to the door. And they open it up. And it's a policeman. And he's like, "Is everyone in here okay?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I just saw a man run away from a window on the side of the house." And they were like, "Holy shit." So they all go outside. They walk over there, and there is perfect footprints that walk right up to the window, and they're facing in the window, and then they run away. Like you can tell.
Oh, that's so scary.
And the cop said there have been reports of breaking and enterings like in this neighborhood. Have you guys experienced anything like that? And they all told like they had felt watched, but none of them had been attacked or anything. And he goes, "Okay, well, just be safe. Make sure you lock your doors, lock your windows." And she told us that, and all of us were like, "Wait, what?" Because she was like, "Oh, it was nothing," But to me, that's so terrifying. I would hate that.
Dude, I have a couple stories of not feeling safe in your own house. And they're all recent.
In this house?
This is one of the houses.
Oh no.
So we just moved into this house. This is my parents' house. They bought it last year, but they still live in Hawaii. Sean, Kevin, and I moved in here like a month and a half ago or so.
Yeah.
And Kevin is very sensitive to a lot of kind of spiritual things and whatnot. But
His whole family is.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's since early childhood, he's been around like a lot of negative, dark kind of energy.
For reference, Kevin's been pulled out of his bed in the middle of the night
Stop.
and pulled under his bed
Under?
by something. His roommate woke up and saw him, and he was like, "Ugh," like coming out from under the bed.
No.
And his roommate, he said, when he touched him, everything let him go. So he's had experiences.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So
Kevin.
yeah, Kevin, he doesn't get scared very easily. He's very, I don't know.
Desensitized to
Just bum
the
my
devil.
drawings.
Yeah. Since this happened so many times, he's like, oh yeah, this is how it is, just like the 80s and serial killers.
Just how it is.
Yeah. But he can probably give a better description of what's happened. And he hasn't told us everything yet either.
I don't think he has, no.
But what he's told me is he constantly sees somebody standing in the stairwell here and watching him from the stairwell. And he says in his room, he doesn't like sleeping in his room because they're like, he said, the things that I see and feel at night, I don't want to sleep in my room anymore.
Where does he sleep?
On the couch in the living room.
Well,
And
now he
then-
sleeps on the couch, but his room is back there.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to impress the fact that Kevin does not easily scare. Like there's a haunted house here where they are allowed to take you away from your group and like torture you in a room.
No.
And Kevin's like, sign me up. So excited. Or Kevin's like, let's play with Ouija boards in a haunted house. Like he's not afraid. So when he voiced that to all of us are like,
So is it a dark figure or he thinks it's an actual person?
I don't know. We'd
From
have
the
to ask him
stairwell,
more.
it sounds like a dark figure.
Yeah.
so this house is pretty far out there. I'm not going to give an exact.
Give
But
him
there's-
the exact
It's
location.
like
What's your
7
exact
hours
address?
outside the valley.
There's not a lot of homes around. Like it's pretty sparse.
It's a new development on the edge of town.
They all moved in at like different times. They were moving their stuff in. And Kevin said every time he brought stuff into the house, because he's like carrying these trunks and stuff.
Yeah.
Second he got in, he was like, something's off. Like I feel like I'm being watched. So that's Kevin's experience.
Yeah.
And he didn't share that with us.
Until one night we're all home and I go outside to grab something in my car. And the car is not parked on the driveway. I park it on the street. And at least that night. And it's nighttime. Like, and I don't think there's street lights out here.
No, it's dark out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
So I open the garage. That's the only light I have. The light coming from the garage. And the street is like, 20 yards away?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I have is in the back seat of the car, but on the other side. But instead of going around to the street side, I stay on the sidewalk and I like reach in. My whole top half of the body's in
And the
back
car's
seat of
pitch
the car.
black.
Well, I have the lights on in the car. Like when you open it, the lights in the car turn on. So
yeah.
I go in and I'm reaching across to grab it. And I hear above my head on the roof of the car, a knock. And it was audible. Like I know it wasn't in my head. And I slowly back out. And I start to stand up. And I look above the roof of my car. Nothing. I turn around and I look. Nothing. We live in, it's like almost a desert out
Yeah.
here, you know?
Yeah.
So there's no way somebody could hide unless it was on the other side of the car. And I remember walking around it, nothing. And then I turn around and start walking back and Kevin walks out of the door into the garage to grab something, but I was the only one there. Or was I,
No way.
So I shared that and then Kevin told me, he said, okay, I've been experiencing stuff too. And then he told us about the stairwell in his room.
So he keeps walking past the stairwell and he says, out of the corner of his eye, in the corner, there's a black figure. And he kind of like freezes and he'll look over and it's gone. But he keeps seeing it like in the same spot.
Okay, so do you guys think these like figures have been invited into your home because you guys talk about this stuff? Or do you think
Here's the
this
thing.
has been
The last place we recorded, the people who lived above us complained a lot because they were experiencing things.
no way?
So things would try to open our door and I was the only one home.
She said she was up in her room in the master bedroom. She had locked the door and she wakes up in the middle of the night, has a weird feeling, and she looks right at her door and she says she sees the doorknob like turn.
No.
And then it goes. Then, while she's watching the door, a crash in their bathroom. She said like all her soaps per Pert Plus just like dove and fell onto the shower floor. That was when she got really pissed at us. Before then, she had heard noises in the house to the point where she called the cops.
So she knew that you guys were filming downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's like, are they playing with Ouija boards? What are they doing in there? No.
See, but whenever it's been like the house out in Bluffdale or a cabin, nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
No.
The only
Nothing's ever
consistent
happened when
is
I'm
Kevin.
the only one here.
It's
Like it's always chill when I'm here by myself.
Kevin is the only consistent, like the common denominator
yeah.
between those two. I have another one
Oh, no.
that happened a week ago.
A week. Oh,
About a
A
week
week ago.
I'm going to get out of this house. Right.
It
once it's
wasn't this
over.
house. It wasn't this house.
Okay.
This one terrified me a lot. So it was October 1st, full moon. And I was at work. Mallory, my girlfriend, she's at home. And she has a whole basement to herself. It's like the electrical room and the under the stairs closet, a bathroom, her room, and like the basement and living room. So that's all hers. She has 3 other roommates who are never home. And if they are, they're always cooped up in their room. She knew that one of her roommates were home upstairs in her room, never comes out, you know?
She has like a microwave in her room. She doesn't come out.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, she
She said-
literally walks in, goes upstairs.
Are they friends or is it just kind of random
Not
roommate?
really.
Okay.
Yeah, random. All random.
She's seen her like twice.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a nice roommate, honestly.
Yeah, kind of. It's pretty ideal. But she's just hanging out on her couch, just swiping through her phone, Tinder, you know.
Oh, while she's dating you? Come on.
She has the TV on, which is lighting up the room, but that's the only light. Like all the other lights are off. Mm-hmm. And she's on her phone, just mindlessly scrolling. And she hears audibly from her bedroom, when she knows that she's alone, she hears. And she stops scrolling. She presses home. She presses the phone. She hits my name and FaceTimes me. So I'm sitting at work. It's nighttime. She's like, Are you at my house? Me constantly always trying to scare her. I say, maybe.
Come on.
You're a devil, dude.
And she was like, okay. Because I just heard you in my room. And immediately I was like,
Oh shit.
come to me right now. She said, what are you talking
Like
about? I
in
said,
the room or
Yeah, she's like, okay, I'll head right into
Just
the room.
walks into your room?
she said, what do you mean? I said, I'm not at your house. Like, I'm still at work. So I was like, I can stay with you on the phone until you get in your car and drive off. She's like, okay. And she just comes in her pajamas.
But could you, that's a pretty crazy, like, that's a pretty intense reaction. Like you felt justified in telling her, like, get out right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to like mess around further. Like, she's
Yeah.
clearly scared. So
That's true. She's like calling you at this point. And,
yeah.
like,
No, yeah.
she's
Yeah.
not like that. Let me
Have
see
you
if
guys
something's
gone
wrong.
back?
Yeah. So she comes and it's crazy. So she's FaceTiming me and she's going up the stairs. And I'm like, I have my fingers ready to like screenshot in case anything happens. I don't know, what else am I supposed to do, you know? She's going up the stairs and I'm like, I always expect the worst.
You can see.
So I'm expecting something to, as she's like nearing the top of the stairs, something at the bottom and start chasing her.
Stop.
And she's like making her way to the front door. And she gets to the front door. She says, all my shoes are in my room. And I'm like, I don't know if you think shoes are worth it.
Barefoot,
but,
baby,
I would
barefoot.
yeah,
You're
just
going to
come-
need to go get those.
Yeah. She gets in her car. I said, check the back seat. She checks the back seat before she gets in
Smart.
and doesn't see anything. And she drives away. I'm like 15 minutes away at work. And she's doing fine when she gets to me and finish work. She sticks with me. And then we go back to her house and I grab a knife because I don't have anything else. And she's with me. because I didn't want to leave her by herself. So I just go downstairs, check the shower, check the under the stairs closet, check the electrical room, behind the water heater, everything. Go into her closet, go under her bed, everything. Nothing. Windows locked. Nothing looks like it fell over. Could have made a clapping sound, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing's happened since. She has had, over the past like month or so, she'll come home and things that are hanging on the walls are on the floor.
Oh.
Even things that are nailed into the wall. And they just like crash on the floor and they're like everywhere.
What?
So all of that built up to the, you know,
You might be a common denominator as well, dog.
I might be too.
With two common denominators.
Yeah. But the clapping terrified me, especially how she said it was fast. She did it for me, you know. It was fast and then it slowed down. You know?
Ew.
I love that she called you to ask if you were in her room, like you'd be sitting there, like in the dark by yourself, like clapping.
Well, he does try to scare her.
Oh, you do?
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like-
I said, because I'm always like hiding somewhere and she'll come down and I'll like just go boo and scare her, you know,
okay.
or I'll video the whole thing. So she's like, "Are you like in my room trying to scare me?" And I was like, "Maybe."
Stop.
You're a freaking ass.
And she's like, okay.
And then it was like,
And I was like, yeah, my whole demeanor changed. I
Like,
was
oh, no.
no,
It's
come
real.
over. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not there.
So
What?
the roommate was just upstairs, every
Yeah.
man for
Yeah.
itself kind of thing.
Yeah, like the lights were off in the rest of the house.
Oh my
Dead
gosh.
silent.
Yeah.
Last time we were recording here and we left, I went out the front door and DJ went to the garage. He had to go get something from his car. And then halfway to my car, I was like, crap, I forgot something. So I came back in. And then I go out and DJ's in his car trying to grab something. And I'm like 30 feet behind him. And I go
Oh my gosh.
like that. And DJ goes, and like jumps up and turns around. And he's like, you bastard. And I was just like, sorry, dude. Good night. But yeah, I was getting you back from Al, dude.
Yeah. Well deserved.
It
Well
was fun.
deserved. But
That's not the. You also have had crazy sleep paralysis in Mal's house.
yeah, I shared it once before.
Yeah.
But I had sleep paralysis all growing up.
Okay.
But I probably the worst one that I've had in the last 10 years was at Mel's house. But
I guess I've kind of like had sleep paralysis.
Really?
Yeah, there's this one room in my house. Like I've never felt like unsafe in my house other than like when I was younger.
Or
Like,
the dolls in your.
okay, aside from Jessica, but see, I didn't feel unsafe because it's like if I really felt unsafe, I would have left my room rather than have my mom come in it.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
it's just startling.
Yeah, it was
You
just
know.
like, Jessica, chill. Like, but so there's in our house, the bottom floor has 4 bedrooms, and there's one bedroom that used to be the master suite we've like built onto our house, so it has a bathroom and everything. And the only time I really get sleep paralysis is when I sleep in this room, and my brother has experienced the same thing. And my brother, I was talking to him about it, and I didn't know that he had the same like reaction as I
You guys
did.
found out like at Black Butte.
Yeah, we did. And it was that same room. And I guess for him, his sleep paralysis came to him in the form of like a woman without a face, like walking through the bathroom door to the bed and like hovering over it. Whereas like for me, my sleep paralysis was like the sounds of like chains dragging down the hallway into the room. But it's like, it freaked me out, but never to a point because I could always like switch it and be like, oh, that's just Nikki, our dog, coming down the hallway. Because she would come to every bedroom throughout the night and like kind of like say hi and stuff. And she had a harness that like jingled, but I guess, I don't know if it was like my sleep paralysis that like morphed it. Yeah. But it was like, it would sound like someone was like walking with chains, like dragging them down the hall. But then my brother like experienced it with a woman without a face coming out of the bathroom.
He was the one who nonchalantly was like, oh, you're talking about the woman without a face.
And I was like, no, the man with the chains.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, oh, just my entire life I've had sleep paralysis. And this lady without a face would stand at the foot of my bed and watch me sleep.
I feel like it happens like that where it's like you have something, you don't like to talk about it, and then somebody else has something similar, and then
Then you bond over it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trauma.
But yeah, I like moving back home, I had the choice to be in that room or my like favorite room. And I was like, not that room. Like,
Not
Good
the sleep
choice, good
paralysis
choice.
room.
yeah. But
That's crazy.
yeah. Did you have your sleep paralysis story?
You want to hear it?
Yeah,
I've shared
what?
it before,
Oh,
but
you
I
did?
but I
Okay.
can share it again.
Oh, okay.
Just for context.
Do it.
This maybe happened 6 months ago, and I was sleeping on the floor, and there's a window in the room, and because it's in the basement, it's kind of like it's like a well almost, and then I don't know what those are called. Then it's like the actual ground, but I like it.
Oh, like just underground?
Yeah. Anyway, there's a light from like the back porch kind of coming through the blinds. The blinds are shut, but it's still like the light's still kind of leaking through. And I remember waking up and not being able to move and like having a really hard time breathing. And I could hear something talking to me, saying my name.
Ugh.
And it came from the window. And like my eyes were like fixated on this window. And I'm watching it, and I hear, and I'm just watching it, and I hear again. And it's not Mallory's voice. And I'm just trying to like break this spell of, where I'm frozen. And I don't see any features, but it's a face that comes through the window, and it like rushes at me, like right towards my face.
Oh no.
And when it hits me, then I like break out of it. And that was it. That was my sleep paralysis.
Dude.
Oh gosh.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's weird. I haven't had something as intense like that in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Because I used to get them a ton as like a teenager or preteen, like 10 to 15. And I would see like people in my room just like standing, not doing anything malicious
I've never
or
had like a
anything.
figure, but like it's more like I hear sounds and it's just like a weight on me.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm easily able to like calm myself down and like snap it off.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
For me, it goes through like cycles in the night.
Really?
Yeah. It'll happen multiple times,
Oh, that's weird.
which kind of sucks. But it'll happen like I'll like pull myself out of it, and then I'll immediately like fall back to sleep, and it'll happen again, and I'll keep going, like
Oh,
waking up,
weird.
going back into it, waking up, going back into it, and then there's always like one time where it's like the scariest, or like the hardest to breathe, or the hardest
Yeah.
to move, and then I'm super exhausted, and I fall asleep, and then it's good.
Oh my gosh.
It's like it climaxes. But you said you had one more story.
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I wanted to share this is because we were recently in Wyoming, and I came across this. So this is from Deep Rider. Shout out. Perfect. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so their family's from Oakland. This is back in 2012. Their family's from Oakland, California. They're on a trip in Lancer, Wyoming. Do you know where that is, Sean? No. Okay. So he's 16. His brother's about 12. His parents are in their mid 50s. So they've been on this road trip for a while. They're camping. They're traveling. It's a July day. Super nice outside. Windows are down. They're cruising through the mountains, right? They're trying to find a specific campground near a lake. And his parents are kind of lost. So they have no reception. They just have a map. So they pull off to the road and pull off into this like overview lookout area above the lake. And they pull over. They're looking at the map. They can't really figure out what road they're on. And as they're trying to figure this out, this lady's jogging up the road. So the dad just kind of says loudly out the window, "Excuse me." Flags are down. "Are you from here? Are you familiar with these parts at all?" "Yeah. What can I help you with?" And he goes, "Hey, we're trying to get to these campgrounds. I can't remember what they're called, but it doesn't matter." And she's like, "Do you happen to know anywhere where that is?" She goes, "Yeah, you're actually on the right road. Continue on this road for about 2 or 3 miles. At the very end, take a left, and you should see the turnout for those campgrounds." And they're like, "Thank you so much. Like, we appreciate it. No worries." And she said at the very end of the conversation, it was like, "Thank you so much. What was your name again?" She said, "Oh, my name's Amy." "Thank you, Amy. You have a good one. Stay safe." For sure. And he's 16. He said very, very vividly, he remembered she was pretty. She was blonde. She was wearing a yellow tank top and dark shorts. And so they said, "Thank you, Amy." They pulled out and they see her rearview mirror. She's running up the hill, disappear. They go camping.
Like into the woods.
Yeah. They turn around, she floats away. No.
Yeah, what?
No, she just continued up the road and out of sight. And that was it. That was its experience. Until about 2 years later, he's watching a TV show called Disappeared. And they're talking about this lady who went missing. And it was back in the 1990s. She was seen running on the side of the road in Lancer, Wyoming, and never seen again. And her name was Amy Betchel, Betchel. And a picture of her comes up, and our friend watching chills because he's like, it was her. She was wearing a yellow tank top, dark shorts, and her name was Amy. And he's like, I freaked out. He saw her. He's like, it was her. So he asked his dad. Dad said, I remember her name was Amy, but I don't remember what she looked like. The little brother was sleeping at the time, and the mom had no comment.
No comment.
But he said, I know I saw Amy. So if we believe he actually did see that, like they interacted with that person, do you guys have any thoughts or theories?
Why did the mom have no comment?
I don't know. He just said my mom had no
It
comment.
almost sounded like they like knew something. Like were involved somehow. You know? It's like,
that makes you sound sketchy.
yeah.
No comment.
Maybe she was on a long run. Still going.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Damn.
What a lot of people were saying is like, oh, that's a loop. Like that's a ghost on a loop. Because she was kidnapped sometime on that run. Or she went missing sometime on that run and never seen again. And everyone was like, dude, that's a ghost on a loop. Like she's running the same route every day.
So can you break a ghost out of that loop?
I don't know. If you believe in movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Return the jewel back to the
Yeah.
Help them
fix
cross
the desecrated grave, yeah, or tell the grandson that the grandpa killed the
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe to this day it's an unsolved mystery. So maybe if they find out what happened to Amy, she will break out of it.
So if this is so fascinating. So if she's on this loop, does she see the same people every day asking for directions?
I don't know.
Or is it like a different person every day?
I mean, if we believe, let's completely believe everything that's happened. It sounds like she's kind of able to interact with people.
Yeah.
Because my suspicion from my extensive research of The Sixth Sense and other scary movies is like she might not necessarily know she died.
Yeah.
And she's just following the pattern that she did super regularly while she was alive. And so, yeah, she could maybe not even realize what's happening.
Oh, that's so weird.
That's a great question. Are ghosts able to break that loop?
Well, because if you think about it too, if she's on this loop and let's say she sees the same people every day ask for directions, wouldn't that mean that they're on the loop too?
Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe someday she just runs alone. And
Also means other people have to have seen her. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if anyone else has been like, yo, I seen Amy.
Or maybe it was just a one-off. Because there's like glitches in the Matrix where people talk about being in a place that they know shouldn't be there or that time.
Yeah.
And so maybe it is just a one-off thing. Like she ran through a hole and came back. Or maybe she ran through a wormhole and then that's why she disappeared.
Yeah. Could be an imprint
because
too.
she left the 1990s and now all of a sudden she's in the 2000s.
So like she blipped for a quick second, gave someone directions,
Yeah.
and then blipped back.
And if you know anything about Wyoming, it is forest, it's nature, and weird anomalies like that have been reported in forested areas forever.
So we potentially have like a currently ongoing story where we can maybe test it and figure it out for ourselves. So I told these guys about it yesterday, but on the movie set that I've been working on, there's the older gentleman named Raven.
Oh.
And he's a set designer. So he takes care of, how it like the scene looks. They're in a bar, like who's wearing the costumes, what the costumes look like the art on the wall and things like that.
Books on the shelf.
Yeah.
Mood lighting.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And his name's Raven.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
interesting.
he's cool. He's a cool dude. I like talking with him. But he has his shop where he has a lot of these props, for different movie sets. This is his everyday job. And his shop is haunted. And he's friends with one of the ghosts. I don't want to tell too much because I told him I have a podcast where we tell scary stories. And he's like, funny thing is, I love being on podcasts.
Oh my gosh.
So he invited us to come over to his shop. And
It's
set
a
up.
haunted building up in
and
Salt Lake.
set up stop.
Yeah.
That is so fun.
And there's a show called Ghost Adventures. And they've been to his shop 3 times.
What?
And constantly he has paranormal investigators checking out his shop.
Do they always see stuff or?
There are things that they see. He told me these were his exact words. He says, I can tell you all the lies that they tell on the show about my shop, but I can tell you all the things that are real, you know? So he seems reasonable, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just trying to make a buck off of the creepy stuff happening in his shop, but there's different ghosts, like personalities in his basement that he works at, and he has a team of people who works with him, who runs the art department on set. But he said there's two main ones. It's a father and a daughter.
Oh, shoot.
The father's a little more of an angry kind of ghost,
Malevolent.
and the daughter is just kind of a little girl who's really sweet to him and kind of protects him, and also kind of almost, it sounds like she kind of keeps the father at bay from like lashing out even more sometimes. But they're moving shops.
Oh.
And he said, before I leave, and this is him talking all seriousness, he said, before I leave, because obviously they've been here for a long time, and we had stories from like the previous tenants.
Mm-hmm.
He said, before I leave, I want to talk to, her name's Olivia. He says, I want to talk to Olivia again, and I want to tell her that wherever I go, she can come and visit me.
Oh.
You know, if she needs me or whatever, you know.
That's sweet.
Super
So
nice.
kind of like bring her out of her environment so she's not alone. Because apparently they're like friends.
Aw.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but that's like going back to your story, like breaking like this ghost out of like a loop.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the father is like, there's history of why he's upset.
Yeah. Maybe
You know.
holding her back.
Yeah. So I think he wants to try and do just that. Kind of break the loop, or at least give her a little bit of an outlet
Yeah.
if possible. So we'll see.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to look forward to that one.
Yeah, he's trying to move out by the end of November. So
We got to get up
recording will happen
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
there. Yeah. Cool. Guys, tonight was fun.
It
Sydney,
was fun.
thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for
thanks.
having me.
No, that was way cool.
Yeah.
Any last things you want to say, or any thoughts or anything, or are you good?
No, I think I'm good. This was fun.
Cool. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad we got to do this. It was way fun.
Little bonus episode.
Anything for the listeners? Any updates? Nope.
No.
All right. Everyone out there, bye, love you, be safe.
Trust your gut, watch your back.
Question everything.
Be nice to your Jessicas.
Oh, that was a good one.
All right, folks. Peace out.
See ya.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of 3 a.m. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon, where patrons have access to exclusive content. If you're not able to support us monetarily, don't worry. This episode is on us. You can still rate and review us on whatever platform you listen to us on. It really does go a long way. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere, including Patreon, is the 3 a.m. pod. Finally, do you have any scary stories? If so, submit them to our website, the3ampodcast.com. We love any audio or visual aids that can help bring your stories to life. So file uploads are welcome with your written submissions. We're anxious and excited to hear from you.